Hey, I'm Kev, Mr. Kerr, and welcome back to MotoGP 17 and the Manager Career, as we've just got one race to go in Valencia. So here we are in Spain, going for a final 2.5 miles of qualifying on this Ricardo Tomo track. There's all that's a bit there out the final corner. Don't want to be doing that on our qualifying effort. So we've got cloudy conditions. It's actually dry for qualifying. I know it's been a while. Let's see what Dan MacDonald can do in this Calyx, an elusive machine. Just easing it into the corners. Maybe a bit slow, but again we're just aiming for top 20 here for qualifying. It's all very wide there. Bit squealy, get on the power. That rear end fighting it. Going a bit wide into the left-hander. And again fighting the rear end. Trying to get on the power. And this is a track where you don't want that. This is all about traction, as you can see. Very technical track. Once again, we're in getting out. Kicking up the dirt into the right. It's been a very slow effort, been very scruffy, been very messy. And MacDonald, this might not be the top 20 effort that we want. Let's go into the right. And virtually flat out for his bending straight towards the final corner. Very tricky corner to hit the apex off, but he managed to do it there. And smoothly on the power as he head towards the line, and 1:35 might have been a good lap time. 1:36.8. Not so sure. MacDonald's done the fastest lap so far, but that's not one of his most impressive qualifying runs this season. Let's see, you can see the red in the background, sunny, but it's also got clouds in the sky. But it should be a dry race as Thomas Saluti grabs what I told you, around 1:35 as he finishes ahead of Morbidelli and Marquez, with Oliveira leading the second round of Piscini and Baldassari. Nakagami leads the third round ahead of Shirota and Vergay in his home race. The master tactician, with Danny Kent rounding out the top 10 as MacDonald in 16th, leading a sit throw alongside Vander. Qualifying alongside his teammate on the sixth row. Good to see from the South African as he qualifies ahead of his fellow countryman Brad Binder, who's down in 26th in their battle in the championship, with Surin running out the sixth row, and we've got Ika in his home round rounding out the field. So can the Nardi veteran Luti win the final round of the season? Who's going to win the battle of Marquez and Morbidelli? Let's find out. And looking at the grid for the final race of the season, we have got an Nardi veteran and then the title rivals as Luti grabbed the final pole of the season. Looking further down, you got you just in the fourth row. Near are the Elusive twins on the sixth row alongside Surin, Lightstill and Magnum together. Don't see that very often in qualifying or in the race, but good to see here in Valencia. Has looking right at the back on the 12th row. You got your own row, Ika. Looking very happy with that.
Just a few more seconds for the race to start. Will those riders on the front row be able to make the most of their advantage, or will those pre-race nerves get the better of them?
Oh, will they for Marquez or Morbidelli? They're battling for the title. Whoever finishes in front wins the title. As MacDonald revs the engine and gets our super starter. Again, he's jumped to row, it looks like. Head of Bagnaia. Now he's aiming for the top 10 as we approach the first corner past Danny Kent. It's in the middle. And he's got into the back of Shirota. Oh, he's not making friends at Suter, is he? As he gets up to 11th, does MacDonald. Looking around the outside of is that Nakagami. As Morbidelli leads head of Marquez. Morbidelli's winning the title at the moment. And he is ahead of Nakagami as he's got Bagnaia up to 12th as well, as MacDonald outbreaks himself but holds on to 10th. Does he? No, here comes the Italian down his inside. And here's Vander. Vander up to 13th. Fantastic opening. Oh, for the Elusive trend to the bad night, comes out of nowhere, trying to bully MacDonald into giving up that top 10 position, but the Scott, he's made of tougher stuff, he won't do that. He's got Danny Kent in front, breaking in the middle of no man's land, heading into the left-hander. Donald takes advantage, he goes up to 9th, as is that Pons ahead on home turf, up into 8th. Fantastic opening. Got riders in all kinds of positions in this season finale, just letting their hairs down. It's actually Quartararo, the Frenchman. Even by the end of the season, I can't tell the two riders apart. But that's it, opening for him up 4 positions. Of course, MacDonald. Oh, we have to get it down to first gear. Almost losing the front end as well under the brakes. We've got a 7-lap race here. Long race, attrition, got to look after the tyres, after the brakes, after the bike. Not make any mistakes as well. As that's better into the first corners. Vander's into the top 10 ahead of Kent. Yes, Jack. He wants to win his battle with Binder. Battle of the South Africans. This is MacDonald. Look at that group for third, which includes the master statistician Xavi at the back in 7th on that Tech 3. Had a fantastic season. Top 10 in the championship. Of course, they're going to do better in the race though. And Luti down to 7th is that, or 6th. Not a good race for the Swiss rider. Not a good opening in that. Because you've got Olivier up to 5th, Bassini 4th, it looks like. Of course, you've got the Mark VDS pair right at the front. You'll see it comes MacDonald down the inside the Tech 3. Is that Aldazari in 3rd? As Olivier has passed Bassini for 4th. MacDonald up to 7th now with this group of 5. Looking around the outside of Luti. It looks like these riders are being held up by Baldassari. Or is he just leading his train comfortably? Looking to the outside of Luti. No room at the end there. He's got a Mark VDS pair riding into the distance. Wanting to have their own space for their title battles. Oh, MacDonald a bit clumsy into the final corners. Vander's up to 9th head of Quartararo. What are you doing to me, Jack? As Morbidelli leads, fastest at 36 flat ahead of Marquez, but MacDonald does a 35.6. Look at that. He did the fastest lap instead on that second lap. As he makes his way up the field and Luti past Bassini. Think about moves up the field up into the top 5. As here's MacDonald easing the bike into the corners. He's definitely calmed down after a middle section of the season where he's just all over the place. Oh, he's down! Down into the dip. Down to 11th, down behind Vander, who's up to 8th. As you got Quartararo and Bagnaia in 9th and 10th. As now we go into the left-hander. And a bit wide. And that dip again, it's another dip. You've had it in Austria, had it in... Was it Mazzano, was it? Oh, Aragon. Just dips in a row, catching out. The elusive rider. That's all, he almost goes into the back of Quartararo, but instead goes round the outside the French and down the inside of Bagnaia, back into the top 10. And following Vander, who's chasing down Verge for 7th. The South African's not in a partying mood. He's got his race face on and wants his best position. In Moto 2, the specialist is coming alive. As MacDonald slides the bike into the final corner. That's not how you're meant to do it. Going across the line onto the 4th lap. Halfway through this race. Jack Vander battling for 7th. He's got the slipstream. He's looking down the inside of the Spaniard. Is he making it work? He is. What a move. Elusive 7th and 9th. But it's not in the order how you would expect it. It's good to even chase down the top 5 as all. Verge, veteran move there, back down the inside. Next corner as MacDonald makes it through the dip. This time, doesn't want to go into the back of his teammate. Let's see if he can play a role here with Vander. Help the South African get up the order. He's getting held up, it looks like here. Vander letting MacDonald down the inside. Here comes MacDonald, easing Verge wide. That's teamwork. Aggressive teamwork. MacDonald helping Vander out here. And now Easy's down the inside of the South African as he wants to chase down the top 5, but Vander's having none of it. Look at this. Battling between the Elusive twins. I've waited a long time to say that legitimately in the race. And for points as well. I can finally say it as Vander. Half a second behind MacDonald. MacDonald over a second behind Piscini. He's dropping back from the battle for the top 5. As the next sight, the Mark VDS pair are still trying to settle their dispute for the title. By themselves at the front as MacDonald goes wide and over the curb and down. Always going to happen into that penultimate corner as he's just not certain under the brakes. For some reason the bike's terrible under the brakes around here. He's got Pons behind in 12, he's got Quartararo in front. As here comes the Spaniard. And this time we can identify them because thanks to Pons looking down the inside into the left-hander. Gets the exit though. MacDonald. And MacDonald's down in that dip again. Seriously? And he's down again as Binder comes from nowhere and just reappears next to him. And MacDonald, it was looking like a good race. But now Vander's having to salvage things for the Moto2 team. Well, just going to go into dive bomb mode up into 25th. Needs to if he wants to salvage a point. He's got Nakashima in front. Isaac Vinales behind. The cousin of Maverick. He's got Shirotto in front on the Suter down in 22nd. Battling with Navarro. Was battling for 22nd. Here comes MacDonald down the inside for that position. But Suter. Shirotto makes it back by. Nice move from the German. Here comes MacDonald into the fast right. I told you he was in a dive bombing mood. And oh my god, 2 riders down. That's MacDonald. What's that, Shirotto? Trying to swipe at MacDonald. Not very happy with that move as the German. There's also Nakashima down. Having a decent race, a Japanese rider heading towards the top 20. Well, not anymore. MacDonald about. He's got Locatelli a second in front. Here comes Nakashima. He wants a battle. For 32nd. And MacDonald is down again. Turning a comedy of errors this race as the bike is heavily damaged. The tyres are heavily worn as well. The front tyre, especially looking at in the bottom right compared to the rear. Let's see if MacDonald can go through the dip. Can. Just looks like you've got to carry a bit more speed into that dip. You kind of want to. Otherwise the bike just does not have the momentum for that corner. Bottoms out and you're out on the turf. But let's see what MacDonald can do with this lap and a half. Can he not finish last? Is the big question. This is not the season finale you wanted. He goes a bit wide. 3 seconds back though. And the tyres, they're already begging for the off season. The bike's begging for the off season as well. And I think Vander's begging for the checkered flag. He must be like 7th. Incredible ride from the South African. Definitely going to keep him with the Moto2 team, I think, for next season. He's shown in the second half of the season. He's shown enough to be retained, I feel. Same with the Argentine as well in Moto3. The Cypriot, he may be good in qualifying, but his race pace is abysmal, it looks like. And with MacDonald, will he step up to MotoGP or will he stay in Moto2? That's the big question. What should he do? Let me know down below. We're on the final lap of the season. It's been an up and down one, and yeah, the bike is just given up. It's very difficult to brake with now. As you can see, snatching the brakes, where it goes. MacDonald now 6.5 seconds back. You have to go slowly through the corners to hit the apex now. This thing. And again, trail braking, almost virtually for the whole of the corner just to get it towards the apex. As the front tyre is gone in the bottom right. That may be why MacDonald is understeering everywhere. He's 5.5 seconds back. I think we saved the Spaniard the embarrassment of finishing last in his home race. So MacDonald's taken that place. But it was a good run as Morbidelli wins the race and the Moto2 title. Well done to the Italian. It was Mark VDS teammate Alex Marquez. He went down to the fryer. Went down to the final race of the season. I thought a bit, like Marquez had the title wrapped in the middle part of the season. But Morbidelli's fought back in the latter part. And that race in Malaysia, crucial, where he salvaged the podium, salvaged second place, while Marquez just fell back to 5th. As look at that bike crossing the line. Yeah, shake your head, MacDonald. You had a mare to end the season. You had a mare to begin the season as well in Qatar, if I remember correctly. And that's just his season up and down for him. You know, he's superb pace in the previous couple of rounds. Superb pace in Valencia, just issues unfortunately arose. So in it to be much more consistent next season, I think he has to stay in Moto2, battle for this title. And we're set away from the Mark VDS pairs. Morbidelli grabs the title by winning this race by 2 seconds ahead of Alex Marquez. Ricardo Vieira in third, very fitting, I feel, as he was right up there in the KTM, but just didn't quite have enough in the end to grab that title from the Calex pair, with Luti in fourth. Baldassarri rounds out the top 5 after running in second for most of the race. Good race from the Italian to end the season. Bassini in 6th, but here's your star. Jack Vander in 7th, 1.2 seconds behind Bassini, 1.2 seconds ahead of Bagnaia. And look at that fast air right up there. But what a race from the Elusive rider. His best finish in Moto2, and what a way to end the season from the South African, with Bagnaia in 8th, the master tactician Xavier Verge in 9th. And Courtois with a top 10 the end season for the Frenchman. Very good race from him, with Nakagami in 11th, Axel Pons in 12th, Luca Mooney 13th, Simone Corsi in 14th on the speed up, ending with points to end the season. Good race from the Italian, and Danny Grant grabs the final point of the season ahead of Xavier Simon, Dominic Agata, Brad Binder, Sorin, Jessico Raffin rounds out the top 20, and you got Yoni Hernandez, Jorge Navarro, Sandro Cortese, Remy Gardner, Isaac Fernandez, Stefano Manzi in 26th, Edgar Pons in 27th, Axel Bassani in 28th, and you've got Paoli in 29th, Andrea Locatelli rounds out the top 30, then Nakashima, Ika Lucona in 32nd, Marcel Chorotto in 33rd on the Suter. What happened to him? Oh yeah, MacDonald happened to him, as the Scot finished in last. He grabbed the fastest lap of the race on that Calex, but the Elusive rider had a mangled bike by the end of it. And he finished 30 seconds behind the new Moto2 champion Franco Morbidelli, and almost 5 seconds back of the field. So in the final standings, you can see it's confirmed Morbidelli winning the championship by 10 points ahead of Marquez, with Olivier just 29 points back on his KTM, and only the third rider out of 34 who managed to score 300 or more points, with Luti in a distant 4th, a lonely 4th, ahead of MacDonald, with Passini in 6th, Baldassarri 7th, Magnaia 8th, Verge in 9th, ahead of Luca Marini by just 6 points in the end. Has very good season for MacDonald in the final stands, at least finishing in the top 5, but would have loved to have been a bit more consistent. 125 points back from the title winner, with Nakagami in 11th, ahead of Quartararo, Kent in 13th, Axel Pons up to 14th, ahead of Dominic Agata by 3 points, with Simone Corsi 16th, Marcel Short at 17th, Vander up to 18th with 19 points scored from the South African, ahead of Brad Binder, his fellow countryman. He wins that battle in the end, with Isaac Fernandez running out the top 20. As Remy Gardner is in 21st, so in 22nd, Simone in 23rd, or Simeon Affin in 24th, and Jorge Navarro, the last point scorer, the Spaniard, in 25th, has out of 34 riders, 25 riders scored points, over 2/3 of the field score points. That's pretty damn good With Sandro Cortese the top non-point scorer, the German, in 26th. This point season for the former Moto3 champion, with Nakashima in 27th, Ronnie Nandez 28th, Bassani in 29th, Manzi rounds out the top 30, Egopons 31st, Spaniard in 32nd, Paoli 33rd, and Locatelli in 34th, while Eco in 32nd. And in the constructors' standings, Calix finished with 445 points, 145 points more than KTM, with Tech 3 in third, 48 points ahead of Suter, who are 45 points ahead of Speed Up in the end. And just confirming your championship winner is Franco Morbidelli, looking very cool and calm as the Italian, with Alex Marquez in second, Miguel Oliveira third, and Dan MacDonald rounding out the top 5. That's the final weekend recap of the season. Sees Vander be the star. Starting 17th, finishing 7th, goes up 10 positions, achieves the race objective, absolutely smashed it. Did the South African one, MacDonald did a different kind, or smashed it during the race. How many times did he crash? I might have to bring the counter back for next season, as he did finish in the top 5 in the championship. Though, while for the Argentine rider, once again consistent, started in 15th on the 5th row and finished in 13th, scored more points and achieved the race objective. Fantastic race from him as he finishes 16th in the championship. In the end, the best of the Moto3 riders as a Cypriot, once again fantastic in qualifying, finished on the 2nd row, qualified in 5th, but in the race, abysmal once again. Not even achieving the race objective, finishing in 21st and finished 22nd in the championship. In the end, has he improved his cordon, but don't improve nothing. Vander improved his braking body position. Argentine rider improved his braking, throttle management and body position. Definitely a star of the future. Look how many credits we earned. Almost 1 million. And lots of reputation. Has, that's through the costings. What have you done, MacDonald? Through the earnings, as you can see in Moto3, that is from the Argentine rider. You can see how it's broken down with the fixed sponsor award, achieved the race objective and the GP credits, and then reputation, he earned an achievement with the race objective. Hardly any reputation earned by achieving the race objective. As you look in at Moto2, and again, just everything goes up a notch. You can see with the GP credits earned, fixed sponsor reward, and then race objective. And look at that from Vander. Lots of great side. And GP reputation has for activity bonus. Then not achieving a race objective. MacDonald loses some while Vander earns a little. But you can see MacDonald earns lots of reputation there. As before we go into the off season, we've got an activity and test to 2, which we will do next time out. As I've got some questions to throw at you at the end of this season as we look at rider performance from the Argentine rider. Look at that. Look at that. In the first half of the season, struggling to finish not last and finish inside the top 30. Then he built up, getting into the top 20 there, the Moto3 specialist. And look at that. In the end, that final third of the season, battling for points virtually every race and achieving it in the final 3. So, fantastic progression during the season. Look at overall 58% now. Moto3 affinities at 100. Definitely looking to retain the Argentine rider for next season. When we look at the Cypriot, the stopwatch king, definitely qualified well. Look at overall 93%. We've virtually achieved his maximum potential. And as you can see, he's only in the 60s. But you're looking at the bottom, again, just struggling with his race. He didn't even finish in the top 20 apart from 2 occasions in the Czech Republic and Austria, but very consistent, high in the 20s and fantastic qualifying, but not sure we're going to be retaining him for next season, as we've got to think about also developing the KTM next season to get these riders up there battling for wins, battling for the championship, battling for top 10s in the championship. But we can't develop the Canex in Moto2. But you can definitely develop MacDonald further, up to overall 86%. But Nico up and down. That is 1-0 finish in the Netherlands, his first retirement ever. But he had, 7 wins, a podium in Brno, and then 2 other points finishes in the Circuit of the Americas, another race which was very up and down, and round Jerez, where he was down, but went up pace-wise. And look at that, finished last on 5 separate occasions, including those 4 last occasions where he didn't even score points in Valencia, Aragon, Misano, and the Red Bull Ring. In that 20th round the circuit of Catalonia, Barcelona, where you expect him to do very well, and then in Argentina finished in last, and Qatar finished in 25th, where he really just learnt on this Moto2 machine. He had the pace in those early rounds, but didn't manage to materialise it until that wet weather in Le Mans, and that wet weather in Le Mans really did help, and as well as in Britain, in Austria, in Malaysia as well, where he's fantastic in the wet. MacDonald grabbed 4 of those 7 wins. So very up and down season for MacDonald. And look at Vander. We gave him that crew level 3 upgrade after Mugello. As you saw in the first half of the season, got a top 20 there around the Circuit Americas. No, at 3, almost got his potential fulfilled as well in the mid-60s, as you can see. But a Moto2 finished at 100%. A Moto2 specialist as well. But you can see in that early part of the season kind of struggling in the first half to break into the top 20. But after he applied that upgrade, it took a couple rounds to work. But then you saw in Austria and Great Britain, in the final third of the season, points in Misano, points in Aragon, and points in Valencia. Probably should have got some in Japan as well, and then fed in Austria from a points position, fed in Malaysia from a points position. So it could have been even more points for the South African, but he's looking very good to being retained next season. I feel very good season in the end for the South African. You know, developed again a bit like the Argentine rider, but looking at overall at the top, almost maximised his potential. Is that enough, you know, to be a lead Moto2 rider if MacDonald moves on? No, we maybe got to think of gathering someone else to make him the lead Moto2 rider, or her. As what are we going to be doing in the off season? This is the questions I'm going to throw at you. Do we retain our Moto3 PL, or do we just retain the Argentine rider or the Cypriot? Of course, keeping them at crew level 3, all these riders at crew level 3. And of course, upgrading the KTM as well. We've got to think about that next season. What do we do in Moto2? Does MacDonald stay, go for the title like we saw in Moto3, so you can have titles at Moto3, Moto2 level before going up to MotoGP level? And what do we do with the second ride? Do we retain Vander, or do we even go for someone else? Even though I'm thinking of retaining Vander, even though he's almost at maximum potential, but you know, he's looking very good. That last third of the season might have saved the South African from the chop. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And should we go for a MotoGP bike? Do we get that Ducati? As looking at the showroom, can we? Oh no, we can't. Let's just show MacDonald in his elegance, in his glory, standing next to his Moto2 machine. But do we go for a MotoGP bike? Do we get that Ducati, which I really do want to get? Or do we save up? Can we actually afford a Honda or Yamaha now? Don't know. But do we get a Ducati, and do we get riders for MotoGP if we're not going to make MacDonald, you know, go up the order and see how we do in MotoGP? So lots of questions. Do we go to MotoGP? Do we retain our Moto3 riders? And do we make changes at Moto2 level? Let me know in the comment section below. And I hope you enjoyed this kind of longer episode as well, as we wrap up the season. Look at how everyone has done in Moto2 and how the Elusive clan has done as well, the Elusive team. But let me know your suggestions down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the off season next time.